can't, you know, beer. You
That's
know,
right.
if you get a busted can of beer in a case of beer, you're gonna throw the whole case out? No,
Oh, heck no.
you're gonna drink the rest of them. So you know, don't worry about it. You know, you gotta move on.
All right, guys. Well, we have two callers on the line, folks. For anybody just joining us, you are tuned to the new Beerman Network, and tonight we are taking telephone calls. And you do have a second question, so would you like to bring that?
Yes, I would. I saw something on your Facebook regarding a trip that you may be giving out sometime this year. I was wondering where that trip was going to be to.
Well, here's some vague details on what we're going to be doing. Starting in early 2015, we are going to be expanding to a brand new corporate office in Orlando, Florida. And at that point, what we will be doing, we will be giving you the opportunity to play in a contest to win the ultimate vacation to the Florida beaches and theme parks.
Very nice. Sounds very nice. I can't wait to enter.
Well, we're going to be opening that contest, like I said. We'll probably open it towards the end of the year. Right now, we're just waiting for a few things to fall into place. I am negotiating with some very talented individuals to join the lineup here at Beerman Network. And once that is all finished with, we will start the contest.
Outstanding. Wow, that's wonderful. That's good news.
And maybe Banders, though, that means you're leaving the area? You'll be relocating to Florida instead of staying up here in Philly?
Yes, we will be moving to the Orlando, Florida area, and we will be opening up like I said, the home office for the Beerman Network. And, it's going to be an exciting time for me, and I'll tell you why. It's been my dream for the last 7 years to finally make that move to the Orlando area. I just found that, Philadelphia, for me in my later years, just isn't a fit anymore.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we'll lose you, but I envy you for going to Florida, and it's a great place. Of course, we can always, you can always pick some trips up for some cheesesteaks or pizza or whatever. Tasty cakes.
So what do you think, Kohler, about the ultimate trip? The ultimate trip now that I've revealed some of it.
I can't wait to get involved with that. I would love to win a trip to Florida, to go to the down there to the theme parks, see the mouse, and just enjoy the sun and fun down there.
Yeah, it's a great vacation place. I actually used to go twice a year, believe it or not. And, every time I had to leave was painful.
Yeah, I've been down there a few times. It's beautiful, but I look forward to trying to win that trip, no doubt about it.
Definitely, and we're looking forward to playing the game and having everybody compete. And it's a fair and balanced competition. And it's not gonna be like any contest you played before. It's gonna have some parts involved in this one. We're not just giving it away for the fun of it. We're gonna make you earn that trip.
Nice. Can you shed a little details on some of the things we might have to do to win this trip?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the major aspects of building up a brand new website is to promote and get the word out. And I'll give you that as your hint.
Gotcha. Spread the word.
And there'll be a chance to win some smaller prizes too. I mean, right now we're in the process, like I said, of building things up. We've already had a plan put in place. It's just a matter of getting we want to make this an around-the-clock type of broadcasting service for everybody across the globe because of the internet. My goal long-term is to make this bigger and better than any one of the major networks you're watching today.
Lofty ambitions, very well.
Yeah. The North Catholic Grand page, which you remember, we're almost at 3,000 guys in 9 months. The Clay School, right? I started by myself. I started it. Just me and a dream. So, you can do it.
Well, the main goal is to have everybody out there who tunes in to encourage all their circles. That's how we're going to build this thing from the ground up.
Right. I'm going to actually post now. How long are you going to be on tonight, sir?
We're going to be on as long as the party continues. So I'm prepared to stay here till at least 10:30 tonight.
All right, so I'm going to post now on the God's page so the guys can call in.
Definitely, we want to hear from everybody, and you can talk about anything you want, and you will be uncensored here. There is no censorship on this broadcast platform. You can say anything that is on your mind. We welcome all callers and all viewpoints and all opinions.
That's great. That's something unheard of.
Exactly. That's the. Go ahead.
Right. Now, to say the way Big Brothers have been looking after us, we gotta, it's a freedom that we're losing. It's good to hear that you're not going to censor anybody.
No, we won't do that because you know what? Over the years, I've been in this business since 1992. And I will tell you, I've been censored by many different people over the years. When I was on television back in Channel 7 in Philadelphia, let me tell you, those days were tough because the callers who called in wanted to say whatever they wanted to say, and the FCC wasn't having it. Well, here on the internet, thank God, they allowed us to let people have their freedom.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Amen
great.
to that.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's good that the topics are so broad. Actually, I'm trying to post while I'm talking to you. And get the guys to call in. But anyway, it's really a nice goal, and to finally reach everybody. You're on the right course. Just have the faith, keep the faith, and you'll be successful. It's a matter of persistence. And you seem like you have it. So just let it go and go for it.
I broadcasted over 1,000 shows on the internet, different formats though. Like now that I finally nailed the name that I really think's going to work in Beerman Network because it's who I am. I am the Beer Man, so why not make it the network?
Where did you acquire the name Beerman? I'm just curious.
All right, let me tell you guys where I acquired that name. The bottom line is, I started 13 years ago selling. It started off as selling soda and water at Veteran Stadium. Then they moved me up to sell Budweiser beer at Vet Stadium. From there, I really took off when I became the Philly Beer Man in 2004. They opened Citizens Bank Ballpark. I was selling Bud Light, and there was a contest. And the guy who sold the most beer over the weekend in that contest would become the winner and pretty much the ultimate beer man. Well, I pulled it off. I went out there, I hustled, I talked people into buying the beer, like to help me in the contest, and at the end of the contest, I was declared the winner.
Fantastic. And now, how much would one case of beer with the ice and all weigh that you carry around that stadium?
I would say I want to go with about 20 pounds.
That's a lot to be lugging around.
Yeah, it is, but you know what? I'm a big guy. I'm lucky that way. I mean, I stand in, as you know, at 6'2", 250 plus pounds. So, I'm not a small guy.
Well, congratulations and best of luck with your endeavor.
Thank you.
I look forward to trying the contest.
Definitely. I look forward to you calling in again on our next broadcast.
Very well.
Have a great night. Thanks for calling in.
How often is this going to be? Every Monday, or is it going to be? What do you have planned?
As of right now, we're going to do a weekly show. So it'll air weekly, but it will be based around my current. Unfortunately, I do have a real job. Fortunately, I guess you could say I have a real job that I'm still active at. But in the coming months, of course, I'll be removing myself from that and going full time here on the Beerman Network.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I just posted get the notes back. Hopefully, some of those characters will call in. I like to talk to them. And we do have a variety of people and a lot of fields, so hopefully a starts with a dream, and you go from there. And my dream was bring those Catholic grandkids to life, and you see what it's done. You've been a part of it, and the spirit and the brotherhood doesn't die, even though we lost the school. So, and you talk about priest, we got a priest, Father Hagen, over there in Haiti, administering to 500,000 people. And there's a guy all by himself over there doing that. And, there are still a lot of wonderful priests. Father Hurley, they came to the guy's party. There's still a lot of good priests out there. Myself, I think I'm more of a Christian than a Catholic, And I think a lot of guys have switched over for different reasons, but we still have the same belief. And I wish you the best. I'm sort of jealous. Orlando's a great town, great area. I get to see the Sixers, I guess, a couple times a year when I go down there to play the Magic.
I'll tell you a true story. I've never been to a Sixers game in my life, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Never been to one. I've worked the Phillies and Eagles games, and actually, I was just at my first ever Eagles game as a fan back the last playoff game that they lost to the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I had season tickets for a while when they were winning, and they played the Lakers for the championship. I had season tickets for a few years, and when Iverson was in his prime, and I sort of enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. They had a decent team those years, and then I kind of I lost interest a little bit in it.
That was a great run, Anthony. Let me tell you, when the Sixers were playing with Allen Iverson, and like you said, they played the Lakers in the championship round, that was a great, great season.
Right. Yeah, it was. It was a great season, yeah. Iverson really went downhill quick, didn't he?
I don't know what went wrong with him. I really don't know.
When you're little like that and you lose your quickness, I guess, that's it. you can't jump over anybody. You're small, you lose your quickness, that's it. I guess he lost his quickness, and that was it. He went over, playing Turkey, and it wasn't too successful. I think that's kind of a shame, He had what they call the posse, and then he loses his money, and I don't know, it's kind of a tragedy for the guy. You kind of feel bad for him, because he gets the attention because he's, making all the money. Then when his talent fades, the people leave him, It's kind of a shame that happened to him. But, this guy Sterling is an interesting story. Evidently, he's got a young girlfriend, he's got a wife. He's quite a character, evidently, at the age of 80, And I'd like to hear his side of the story, because I firmly believe there's three sides. Three sides. Your side, my side, and the truth,
That's true.
Yeah, so I'd like to hear his side. The torture in the media, trying to get him to give up the team, the whole bit. But, anyway, the guy's 80 years old. He's probably got a little, he's probably not wrapped too tight anyway, so.
Well, that's the problem is, the guy's in his 80s, he's at the tail end of his life, and he's obviously not, he's not all there probably with his mentality, things like that. Unfortunately, people start to, they start to lose the common sense late in life. That's what happens.
Right, exactly. Like I'm only 63 and I'm losing it, so I'm not saying 80. God bless him, but
Yeah, I don't expect to live past 50, to be honest with you. So, I mean, just the way the world's going today with all the stuff happening, now we have this war in Russia maybe picking up, and, things going on. The global warming and the amount of earthquakes, if people have noticed, I've been posting a lot about earthquakes. And, we've done studies about this, and we really believe that the amount of earthquakes are going to pick up in the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, a lot of people, I think one of the ministers just said that the end is near. It might have been those that, Pat Robertson, one of those guys said the end is near. But remember Mickey Mantle, they said, why did you drink so much? And he said, well, my family, nobody lived past 50, none of the men. So I drank so much, figuring I was going to die. And then he lived past 50, but then of course he had cirrhosis of the liver from drinking so much.
Right, you never know.
So you really don't know. Life's a crapshoot, so, and I myself survived stage 3B colon cancer, and, it was kind of a battle, but I just took it one day at a time. So, anything's possible. You walk down the street, get hit by a car. There's Father Hagen, the guy in Haiti, calls it a little bit of heaven. And every day he gives a sermon. He says every day have a little bit of heaven, whether it's having a cup of coffee, reading the paper, going out with a friend for a beer. But enjoy your little bit of heaven because you never know. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, but just enjoy that little bit of heaven. And that's when I see my friends get a coffee or go for a pizza. It's a little bit of heaven. When you were younger, you had to catch with your dad. The family sat around, had dinner at the table. That was a little bit of heaven. I'm repeating Father Hagen's sermon. I hope he doesn't sue me. But anyway, that's on Google. Father Hagen giving that sermon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, at the grad party, but he couldn't make it. He was stuck in Haiti. So we don't have any other callers to stop making. Make it some more guys. Come on, guys, let's go. I posted it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what people, people on a Monday night, I was saying this in the very beginning of the show. When I started the show tonight, the first thing I said was, where's everybody at on a Monday night? There's no Phillies game. There's no baseball games in New York either. So it's like, we have the entire region with no baseball on a Monday night. There's no Flyers game tonight. So where are the people? That's the question, of course, that I ask because, you would think that, people would spread the word that, hey, this guy's going to be on the internet broadcasting. But let me ask you this question, Anthony. Do you think that people in your age range are willing to turn on their computers and spend 2 hours watching a broadcast and chatting in a chat room?
Well, I'm on my cell phone, and I like it because I can get to express my opinion without being offensive and get to hear other people. And I look forward, at my age, one thing I admire about the back page is the younger guys have helped my perspective and changed my way of thinking, And I look forward to hearing from the younger guy. So, I like it. I mean, I don't know if I'd watch it on the computer, but I certainly would be on the phone talking and listening. And then if I had the computer up, I'd be watching too. But I like the idea. You have a good personality, and I like the fact that we can listen to people of all ages, races, and, not worry about anything. In fact, maybe your slogan will be something like free speech.
Well,
because that seems to be impeded in our country right now,
Well, my thing is, look, nothing should ever be censored. I don't believe in censorship. I believe that we lost some really great people fighting wars over the last 10, well, I guess the last 10 decades we've had so many wars. So we lost so many great people fighting for our freedom. And this is something that we deserve and we should have. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now you do. This is coming. Are you like doing this cast from somewhere? The webcast from some place in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we're doing it from Horsham, PA, where we're here in our
Okay.
studio in Horsham, PA.
Okay. Okay. That what GMAC used to be. Right.
Yeah, yeah, they used to be up here. Yep.
Okay. All right. And this is the first one.
This is the first. This is the first under this format. We've done other
Okay.
formats. We've never done this format on these two websites that we're using tonight. We're using Ustream.tv and TalkShoe.com. I've used both of them individually before, but never teamed the two of them up together before.
Okay. All right. I see you have some pretty famous people you interview. So with Kim Douglas and quite a few other people. So you've been around, you know a lot of people.
Well, Kim Douglas might be joining the network in the very near future.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I actually in negotiations with Kim Douglas currently to join this network.
Oh, great. That'd be really good. That's great.
So we're going to have her hopefully join us, and she'll be hosting her own call-in show.
Right. Right.
Or she'll be joining one of our other hosts. Because right now we're working on being able to put on a lineup every night to entertain the masses.
Okay. Okay. Well, it starts with a few and it keeps spreading, so, that's how it's done.
Exactly. That's. Go ahead.
Yeah. I know you mentioned a golf tournament you're thinking about going with the North Catholic alumni versus the North Catholic teachers.
Yes, I would love to see that become a reality.
Yeah, well, we'll put the challenge out there. The teachers have a group. I've been to lunch with them. And we'll put Brandy Doherty, Tony Costantino, all those guys. We'll put a challenge out to them. See if they'll meet it.
Yeah, we definitely will be broadcasting that one too.
We'll have to give them maybe a few, we'll have to give them a little bit of a handicap.
You know what Franny Doc used to say when he was my teacher? He would always say, "I'm screwed."
Yeah, right. Tony Costantino, at that lunch that I attended, he stayed with me, and he talked about that North Catholic 68 basketball game. And he said that they believed, Jack Friel believed, and Fanny Doherty believed that they could win that game. They firmly believed that they could win that game with our JV playing the Devitt varsity. And the reason they believed it is because the North's front line, Iggy was 6'6", Kaiser 6'5", and I think Jimmy Boylan was 6'5". A really big front line for the JV.
Was that Paul Kaiser or no?
Yeah, Paul Kaiser.
He's the guy that I think he currently lives in Port Richmond, if it's the same guy I'm thinking of.
I think he's because I think he came to one of our mini reunions. 68 has what they call mini reunions 3 times a year. And I think he came to one. Because he says, I'm pretty friendly with Dave DeNiro, who was on the varsity that year, and also friendly with Hank Simitowski, who probably was one of the most famous basketball players to come out of North, and is now in Sweden, played pro ball and coached pro ball in Sweden. And Hank's coming over in June of this year. So we're going to probably have a little party for him. But anyway, that JV was so big in the front court that Tony Costantino told me that what's his name, Billy Dever, was the point guard. All they do is throw the ball to the big guys and not worry about anything. And McDevitt evidently got out coached because Tony said the thing to do is to stay back, McDevitt's defense to stay back and guard North's front court. Well, instead, they chose to pressure North's backcourt, and Dever dribbled the ball so well they could never take it from him. So he's told me that they thought they could win that game, and they did. It put a national headline.
Hey, Tony, let me tell you something. Just from listening to your stories, you would make a good talk show host yourself.
Well, maybe I can come on and little bit of nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Of course, why not? I mean, we're open to bringing anybody who can do it. We're giving them a chance to do it.
Yeah, I can actually give lectures anything from colon cancer, believe it or not, which is not my favorite topic, but I can give the warning signs to get you guys, especially the men, go get their colonoscopies. You know how many men are afraid to go get their colonoscopies? And, anything from that to basketball. But I like to talk, and I enjoy the drag pages, and I used to too, because it's a bunch of guys together and a bunch of people together. And, I like listening to the younger generation, A lot of guys of my age, their minds are fixed, but I like being open to new things. And if there's anything I could do, to help you get this thing going, I'll do my part, to help you, even though you're leaving Philly. That's another thing about Philly, You got guys like Richie Ashburn, who, God bless him, he lived in a small town of Alaska, but somehow he stayed in Philly. Something about Philly. Victor Neal, stayed in California, remember? Something about Philly. He stayed here, So there is a certain appeal. I don't know, what it is, but there's an appeal to attract those kind of people. When they leave their jobs, they want to stay in Philadelphia. A lot of the ball players, they come back, and they stay. So I think Philly still has it, but, it is losing it. But the suburbs are still very friendly. And of course, you can go into Philly for great food. Tomorrow I'm going down to Mary's on Pascal Avenue for a great pizza. I drive 30 miles for a pizza one way.
Wow. You know what? I used to do that. I used to drive for Max Pizza in Wildwood. I'll never forget the one summer where I actually jumped in my car at 10 o'clock at night, drove straight to Wildwood, picked up a Max Pizza, got back in the car, and drove back home to enjoy it.
What are you going to do down there in Orlando? I guess you're going to try to find something.
Well, we're gonna open the company. We're gonna open the Beerman Network to a full operation based out of Orlando.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could expand actually into some kind of food too, right?
Well, you know what I'm thinking is we'll be able to do a lot of live broadcasts from places like Universal Studios and Walt Disney World. One time I actually did a radio show from Walt Disney World, and I also even done it's on YouTube. I actually broadcasted one of these shows from a boat out in front of Magic Kingdom.
Oh, wow. That's great. And you know what? In the winter, half of Philadelphia comes down there anyway.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we got Sandy, Doherty, Manzi, the whole crew, the teachers, they all go down there in the winter, hibernate. So you see a lot of Philadelphians down there. And there is a different kind of attitude down there, too. Unfortunately, Philadelphia can be a little tough. But Orlando, a lot of people smile and they're having a good time. So it is a different atmosphere. And, another place down there I go is Key West, all those keys, they're really nice too. So, yeah, I'll be up here shoveling snow, you'll be down there having a good time.
Hey, we got another caller on the line. Go ahead, Southwest New Jersey, you're on the air.
Hello, Beerman.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm glad to be part of this historic broadcast. And I'm here to wish you luck, and it's good to hear you on the air.
Well, glad to have you. So what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I just wanted a little background on the Beerman. Some of the highlights of your career for people that don't know, people listening around the world. Just a little background on the Beerman.
Sure, I'll be glad to do it. Well, let's see. I started on television back in 1992 at Low Power Channel 7. Okay, we have one more caller. Stand by.
Channel 7, that was in Philly?
Yes, Channel 7 Philadelphia. We had Channel 7 Philadelphia was my first stop. I was 16 years old, and I was the I actually started as a co-host and then became the producer and host of Teen Talk.
Wow.
And then from there, I spent about 3 years with Channel 7 and became the main station host and correspondent for any stories that were breaking out in the field.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing. Yeah.
So that was as a teenager. Now we'll fast forward. I took some time off between 1995 and 2005, so 10-year gap with no broadcasting. But I did return in 2005 with special guest Tom McCarthy of the Philadelphia Phillies, as it was the night Ed Wade was fired as the general manager. We went on the air at 11 p.m. on WNJC radio.
Wow. And that was your own show, or that was somebody else's show?
I was the host of that broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And then from there, so we fast forward again, we did maybe 2 or 3 spots in '05, and then in 2007, I returned again to WNJC, and I hosted a weekly variety show called The Party Zone, which lasted from, I would say, from July to September, and then when the Phillies made the playoffs, came back and did well, pretty much pregame show, postgame show, and I will be airing all those broadcasts so you guys can catch up with where I've been and take a listen to hear some of the classics in the vault, as they say.
That's part of the Beerman history. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. One of the main guests on the broadcast, besides Tom McCarthy, was Scott Graham.
Well, Scott Graham. Scott Graham has his own company now. He's doing something on his own now.
I'm not sure where Scott is these days, but I do see him in a lot of commercials.
Right.
Well, I mean, you hear his voice. You don't really see him, but what I'm saying is you hear his work in a lot of commercials, I should say.
He does a lot of voiceover stuff. I think I read somewhere where he has some kind of broadcasting consulting company, something like that.
Okay, and then also there's another list of people we've had, which includes Kim Douglas, formerly of the Barsky Show, which aired on many different FM stations in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And we also had, at the time, her girlfriend Casey. That was a big story in the local newspaper, written by another guest of ours, Dan Gross.
All right. So you're in the loop here in Philly world.
Yes, well, you know what? I put myself out there to these folks, and they were very nice people, and we had a ball doing the interviews.
Okay. Very good.
But we are in talks with several of names in the business that I really cannot go on the air and give you. But I will tell you that in the coming months, things will definitely get interesting here at the all-new Beerman Network.
Good. Very good. That is very good. And this will be every Monday night, the same night every week?
Right now, we will let you know on Facebook and Twitter what the schedule is. I cannot commit to being here every Monday night due to scheduling conflicts, but we will be. Basically, what I would like you to do is continue to follow the Facebook, the Twitter, and our brand new website.
Social media. That's what we're looking at. Social media in today's day and age.
Exactly. In today's world, the broadcasting business is no longer on television or on the radio. It has gone to social media. And in the future, it will go 95% social media.
Well, I mean, you've probably heard of the comedian Mark Maron. I mean, he started a podcast from his garage and started out very small. And now he's selling advertising. He's making money off of his podcast.
Believe me, you can make a lot of money if you know what you're doing. And honestly, I don't know if the future holds a lot of money for us, but our goal is to put on quality entertainment. one of the things as part of the Beerman Network, a slogan that I have, is making entertainment fun again.
There you go. There were words to live by.
And let me tell you, we have done shows from everywhere and just about anywhere. I mean, you name it. We've been there, either on the radio, on the internet, or on television. We've been all over Florida. We've been down the Jersey Shore. I mean, there is so many broadcasts that I have done over the last 10 years that I can't even tell you how much time that I put into it. And you know, the funny thing is that at the end of the day, 10 long years, it didn't pay off. But now we're going to try it again, hoping that this time we can catch lightning in a bottle.
Well, I think with social media and the internet, which is much more advanced than it was 10 years ago, I think you stand a good chance of breaking through this time. I mean, things. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but things are even now a lot more advanced in the technology and the way communication is than it was even 10 years ago. So I think you have a good shot this time.
Well, I appreciate the words of encouragement.
You know, I've been in, I'm a lot older than probably both of you guys. But one thing I learned though is you need a niche. You got to get that niche where people want to hear you. So what you're talking about doing is you can spread that out, develop your niche, and people will say, let's listen to the Beer Man because we can say what we want. He has topics that we're interested in. And if you get that niche, you can go. But you do need to, there's a lot of podcasts out there and all. You need a niche. And you stick with that niche, and you'll make it. I did Joe Osteen. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not. But he's a famous preacher, and I like listening to him. And he has podcasts available, and I listen to them all the time. So it's a great way to spread your word, and you can do it. You just have to have that goal and the niche and the perseverance to continue. Because as I said, my daughter and son-in-law are out in Hollywood, and it's tough. It's a tough business, but persevere, do your belief, and you can make it. And I know from speaking to the back page, we got 3,000 guys that are behind you. And we'll spread the word for you too. But you're doing a great job. Just keep at it,
Well, thank you again, and I appreciate every word of encouragement. And like I said, there's been massive research done on this project, and I feel now it's all about what you, the audience, wants. And like I said, we'll give you the opportunity to call in. We'll give you the opportunity to come in and host a show if you want. I'm open and willing to give everybody a fair shot.
Now, another thing, excuse me. Another thing that I saw on your Facebook page, there's something going on in July, some tailgate zone broadcast, I just read it briefly on your Facebook page.
Yes, on July 24th, we will be having the premiere tailgate broadcast. And that broadcast, what we will do on that show is we will broadcast the entire tailgate zone and basically show you the party. I've done it before. I've interviewed a bunch of people during the Phillies playoff run, during the Phillies World Series in 2008 and 2009. We were at Yankee Stadium for the pregame show outside of Yankee Stadium with the fans. Matter of fact, it was classic broadcasting when I approached the Yankee fans broadcasting from my laptop. The reaction was priceless. You got to take a look at that. All this stuff is at youtube.com/Beerman TV. There is tons of great footage there.
I'm going to have to go check that out. Were you wearing Phillies gear when you went up to Yankee Stadium?
You know what? That was back in 2009. I believe I was, though, because, let's face it, I'm a Phillies diehard. I love that team more than anything.
well, to pull you out, to move you down in the lineup. You know, I think they may have a decent year.
Now I see that Rich Gunja called earlier, but
Hey, that's my buddy, Richie.
okay, because he left though. He didn't stay with us.
He didn't stay with us?
Nah, he came in and then he left.
Ah. I told him to call in. That's my right-hand man with the grads party. He did all the, I'm really bad with the internet, so he helped me out a lot. He's a good guy. He's class of 83, North Catholic.
Well, I'm class of '94, so there you go. And we're actually having our 20th reunion this Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. You're gonna go to that, right, Beerman?
Oh, definitely. I'll be there. Matter of fact, I will actually be broadcasting, some of the footage from the party.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Definitely. We broadcast. Let me tell you how we operate. We can turn on our broadcast through a phone, a tablet, or a computer.
Wow.
And that's on Ustream. All you have to do, if you want to watch that, you can watch it one of two ways, actually. You can go to the Facebook page, and there'll be a link there. It'll take you directly to the Ustream. Or you can go to the Ustream.tv page, which whatever we do live, it will pop up. I've done broadcasts driving down the shore. I mean, they're not long broadcasts, but I will pop up and do something. It's more of a video, but at the end of the day, it's all part of what we do here. The whole goal is to broadcast and show people different things and different experiences.
Now, Beerman, you have to tell me the story about the hat that you're wearing. I'm looking on Ustream right now. What's up with the hat there?
Well, you know what? I'm a guy who likes costumes. And this hat was actually purchased back in 2010 down in Walt Disney World because I'm a huge Disney fan. I'm going to tell you that right now. Huge Disney fan. I've gone there. Well, I used to go twice every year. So during the Phillies World Series, I stayed at Pop Century at Disney World. And I drove on down to Tampa to Game 2, which is the only game the Phillies lost. But I got lucky. I met a guy who was connected, moved me down to a nice seat by the third base side. And the funny thing is, he wound up getting taken into custody by the sheriff's office of Florida, which became a story in Dan Gross's Philadelphia Daily News column.
Really?
And that was promoting, of course, promoting where I was at the time. So, see, over the years, the one thing I notice, people don't follow Dan Gross very much because I didn't get much traffic from Dan Gross's column.
I stopped reading the Daily News. I guess the internet kind of took away from me reading the newspaper.
Well, Dan Gross actually is no longer even doing the column.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he gave it up,
Right. Okay. Dick Gilardi, I don't think is at the Daily News anymore either. Is he the sports writer? I haven't seen. Once in a while I'll grab the paper. I haven't seen his name either. It's a shame. We used to have a lot of great writers in the city.
By the way, I want to let you guys know real quick, everything that we're doing tonight is going to be archived on TalkShoe.com and Ustream.tv.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So you have to... I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, you're talking about Walt Disney World. You going down there, Walt Disney was one of the pioneers. And, there's a lot of quotes about how Disney was told, no, you can't do it, you're crazy, So there's some inspiration for you right there, being down there with a man that was told, no, you can't do it, became famous,
Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was told he was nuts, and he'd never make anything of himself in the
And if you...
entertainment world.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say was, if you guys noticed, when you called in tonight, there was no person answering the phone. See, what TalkShoe does, they basically allow you to call in, and then What we do here is we'll see you pop up, and then we can unmute your call. So, I mean, it's a great system as far as allowing people to be uncensored.
Right.
Uncensored, no call screening, just straight through. You're right.
Exactly. That's the way it should be.
Okay.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the problem with our country, is that they allow these radio companies and television companies to censor things that really don't have to be censored. For instance, you call a guy like Howard Eskin and you have point after point that you want to make. Well, you get cut off because they don't let you say what's on your mind.
And they used to have like I don't know if they still do, they used to have like a 2-minute rule. They cut you off after 2 minutes, right?
Exactly. Well, they said now it's changed a little bit. If you really bring some solid, really, in their opinion, good points, then they'll let you stay on for a little longer. Because what I do is when I call these guys, I make sure I get whatever plugs or whatever I want out of the way first, and then make my point. That's how you do it. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I have a really good friend, Jerry Horgan, who's been a Phillies fan for 40-some years. He sits on top of the dugout, and he always makes sure that I'm taken care of as far as if there's an open seat, I'm going to be in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always give him plugs on the shows, because Jerry's taken good care of me over the years.
Well, that's the way it works. I agree. Now, have you ever thought of trying, because every once in a while, like the Fanatic runs a contest to be a host, and I think maybe WIP has done it too. Have you ever tried out in one of those contests?
Believe it or not, many years ago there was a thing called Talk America that I was going to try out for. That's when I was working on air at Channel 7, but unfortunately at the time you had to be 18. I was just 17. So of course, I was bummed out about that because I knew I would have made it for Talk America. At age 17, the producers would have been like, wow, this guy can bring it. Not a day of college, a high school guy, you know what I mean? Like, not even a high school diploma at that point.
Well, your perseverance and your personality will pay off for you. Just stick with it. And you got to get some more people on here and get a real lively conversation going. There to be people who call in and whatever they want to talk about, just talk about it. And like you said, uncensored. That's great. And once you develop, the media will give you some attention and say, hey, there's a guy on Mondays at 8 to 10 where you can say what you want and not worry about being censored. It's all about getting your name out there and getting the recognition. And that's what I'm going to do in the drag page as soon as I hang up, ask the guys where they were, and then tell them to go back and try and listen to it later on.
What I will do is I will announce, like I said, I will let everybody know a couple days in advance when we'll be on again. The problem is right now my work schedule is going to limit me, but see, I had off today and I'm actually off today and tomorrow, so it was a perfect time to do it.
Well, you got a strong following at the draft page, so let me suggest maybe a couple days, put it out there. Hey guys, I'd like to get together and talk with you on the air. What days are good for you guys, and what time, and then get the guys to reply, and you got to put some characters on that page, get them to call in, get some things going. You might be on all night.
See, that's true. You know what? I'll tell you what, I've hung out with people over the years, and on the next broadcast, I'll have to get these guys to come on here, because these guys I used to hang out with, they're a bunch of characters. They would sit there on their webcams, like what I'm doing now is using a webcam. They used to sit there all night, and on those websites, they would have about 5 or 6 webcams. And there would be guys and girls coming in, and it would be one big party with people would bring their booze and all. And I've done it before. We've done booze shows on here. I mean, not on Beerman Network, but the point is, on the internet, I've hosted booze shows too. I've sat down with a bottle of vodka and finished half of it,
Right.
Now, as the beer man, what is the official right now? What is the official beer of the Beerman Network?
Bud Light Platinum.
Bud Light Platinum. Okay. All right.
That's what I like. And I'm actually drinking Bud Light's the margarita cans that they currently sell too. That's another thing I'm big on.
Okay. Well, we got a guy that has a brewery company on the Grand page. I forgot the name of it, but he's down Philly on Amber Street, actually, and he's doing the brewing. And I wanted to have like a little social event down there. But these microbreweries are popping up all over the place, you know?
Glenn McNeil just opened one in Conshohocken.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a real good idea. We also have a bacon guy that's creating different flavors of bacon. And I forgot his name, but I think he's out in Lansdale. And I'm trying to convince him to do one of the parties and bring us different flavors of bacon to the party. So there's a lot of creativity, small people. They have a good thing, but it's not out there. So perhaps you could be a spokesperson for those small groups also, you know?
Well, you know, I had a friend. I had a friend in Florida who told me I should go out to the local bars and sell it as, how about have Beerman guest bartend tonight?
That's a good idea.
That's a very good idea. Especially as the beer man. I mean, that's cross promotion right there. So, I mean, beer man as a guest bartender, I mean, that goes hand in hand. There's a symmetry there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Now, didn't the Daily News have a guy that used to do beer?
Joe Sixpack, yeah.
Okay, is he still there, or did he leave?
Nah, last time I heard, Joe Sixpack is probably retired somewhere.
Okay. All right, because I know they did a column with him.
Let me tell you one of the most ignorant people I've ever met in the business. That's Stu Bykowski. You know, when I approached Stu, his approach back was just so negative. But Dan Gross, who took over his column, actually used the stories that I had for him 3 different times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You supplied him with gossip?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Wow.
One of them, believe it or not, one of them was actually, I was at the Brigada, and I wound up getting into it with John Lovitz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I kid you not.
Well, what happened between you and John Lovitz?
Well, he was, all right, what happened was I was at the open bar downstairs at the Brigada, and I went to see his show, so I had a few in me, and I was sitting in second row, and at one point he starts to, tell some kind of joke, and I yelled out, "Does he live in a van down by the river?" Because, I was mentioning Chris Farley.
That was Chris Farley, yeah.
Right. So he turned around, and then he started, saying something back to me, and we went back and forth. And then the security people, of course, come over on the side, and they're kind of, giving me like, shh, And, of course, I kept it going, though, and I did not get thrown out, because finally I gave up. But, but I did yell out. I did tell him, I said, well, I do have my own radio show.
Wow.
Yep.
That is incredible.
Yep. See, it's all about how you market yourself out there.
Yeah. Now, Beerman, I'm flipping through the YouTube videos. You got to tell me the story behind this one.
Okay.
I see a video of you on New Year's Eve in Times Square, and you're with Jenny McCarthy. Now, how does that all happen?
Well, you know what? I went up to New York's Times Square I would say I was up there about 5 different times, okay? And every time I was up there, I always tried to get on TV. Well, that one year, I was lucky enough to be basically right there up front. I was there at the right time. As soon as I let people in, I was in line to get in. So, I go in line, and they fill in the pits. The producer comes over to us, and I said, oh, could I say something to Dick Clark, because it was his 40th anniversary. Well, he turns around and says, no, but I could use you for something else. Well, lo and behold, it's Jenny McCarthy. Now, here's the deal. they rehearsed this line with me about 3 or 4 times what I was going to say before they went live, right?
Really?
Yes, now listen to this. True story. You're going to love this one. Jenny McCarthy is flipping out, cursing at her producers because she's getting ready to go live. She's flipping out. She turns to me. I said, Jenny, I got you. Use me. Lo and behold, she ran with it, but she didn't know I was going to put my arm around her and all. That was all just on the fly. I just ran with the moment. I knew I was on national TV. I mean, let me tell you something. For a guy like me, my heart was pacing. And you could see in the video, I was nervous as hell.
That's one of the greatest videos I've ever seen. That was awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that comment. I really do.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I'll be looking for it very shortly.
Now, let me tell you, I was actually supposed to say a shout out to my buddy Scott Mattisall. His brother is actually poker player Mike the Mouth Mattisall.
Okay.
But what happened was I was scared ABC would cut it out, so I just said a shout out to my buddy Scott if you heard that part.
I think so. And then you jumped in like towards the end of that video too. She went from you. She talked to a couple of other people, and then all of a sudden at the end you jumped back in again.
Well, I believe they came back to me, to be honest with you, because they knew that they had something in me.
Okay.
So they had her come walk back over to me, or I'm not sure, but it could have been that Jenny just decided on her own to walk back to me, knowing that, wow, this guy has some balls to put his arm around me.
Exactly.
And remember, Jenny was single that night. At that time, she was a single woman.
Did she get married, or
she's engaged?
Single. Oh, she's engaged.
Yep.
Okay.
But of course, look, if I could have rehearsed that, myself, calmed myself down and rehearsed it, I would have probably changed my approach a little bit, because I know I was over the top. If you watch at the end, Jenny kind of takes her hand and kind of like pushes me back.
Right.
But
that was perfect, though. I mean, it's a classic Beerman video to me.
Well, what I don't get is, I don't know why it didn't get a lot more than 1,000 hits. I mean, I would expect it to get at least 10,000 hits.
Yeah, it's funny about that. Some videos go viral, some don't. I think it's just like who forwards it to who, and then, it gets forwarded to the right people, all of a sudden it explodes. It could still go viral. Even after a couple of years, it could probably still go viral.
Well, I've sent it out to different people like Rhea Hughes, and and these people always respond with things along the lines of great, they love it.
Right.
So I mean, people who are in the business and established on a major platform have all said they love it.
Right.
So yeah, but that was my claim to fame. Well, you know what? Believe it or not, before Jenny McCarthy, my claim to fame was Tom McCarthy, because he was the most famous person that I've, me and Tom had a good rapport on a consistent basis where, he was always a guest on my shows.
Are you still in touch with him?
We still do talk from time to time on Twitter, but not on the level we used to be.
Right. Okay.
We were really good friends at one point, but Tom's life kind of took a turn, and we ran a story out there, a story actually in Dan Gross's column that mentioned that Tom McCarthy would be a big part of my, it was a bad marketing plan on my part that I promoted Tom as being the centerpiece of the network that I was going to open, and that never took place. Tom never agreed to it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look, on the road up, you kind of make your mistakes. It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So, it's a business.
Well, it's all about, you're the Beerman, and it's your network, and you're the star. So, how you conduct yourself and what you do, that's where the spotlight's going to be.
Well, I'm not camera shy. I'll tell you that right now. If, whoever's watching in the chat room can see that. But let me tell you. Let me tell you what pisses me off about television. Because you asked earlier, did I ever try out for any major platform? I actually did try out for the NBC 10 traffic gig, and I'll tell you, I hate teleprompters. I don't use a teleprompter. Everything I do on the air is from the top of my head.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's tough though. I mean, in a traffic situation, you would have to, I guess, get briefed before you went on, like without a teleprompter. You would just have to get briefed ahead of time and then go on and take it from the top of your head.
Here, you ready? Here's your traffic report. I'll do it off the top of my head. Now, this is going to be made up, but you ready?
All right.
I'm Beerman here with your traffic report. 95 South, bumper to bumper from Bridge all the way down to Girard. 76 West, bumper to bumper out to Conshohocken. Take the alternates. I'm the Beerman with your traffic. Like it?
Now, you know what the problem with that is, though?
Go ahead.
On TV, you don't look like Jillian Mealy.
Wait till I tell Jillian that. I'll have to tweet her that tonight.
Yeah, tell her she knows me. Her and I have communicated a few times. Yeah, you don't look like her, but tell her I think the girl from Fox is a little bit better there.
Oh, no. You can't do that. See, that's the one thing. I'll tell you what. When it comes to women, this is one thing I learned. You never tell one woman she doesn't look as good as another.
Well, I was fixating on Jillian with the traffic, and then somebody told me, go over to 29 and look at the traffic. But anyway, yeah, you don't look as good as her, so I don't think they would appear to be buying no matter what you do.
Well, actually, they hired the gay guy, John Ogden.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's who they hired.
Yeah, that's Jillian loves to blink her eyes. You ever see her like when she watch her tomorrow? She'll be on there and she'll blink her eyes a lot. You know, I guess that's got to be part of it, like gate to, make you look at her. But watch her look at the TV and blink her eyes. I think it's great.
Well, let me tell you, back in my TV days when I was on TV on Channel 7, the one thing I always wanted to do was wear a suit jacket on the air because, you know who actually, you guys might know this guy. Back in the 60s, well, no, I'm sorry, 70s or 80s, he was on Channel 29 and Channel 17, the Disco Man RJ. Do either of you gentlemen know him?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound, Disco Man.
RJ. He did RJ's Disco Party and a whole bunch of different shows on 17 and 29.
Yeah, I don't really remember that. But, I mean, I was definitely around then, but I don't remember him.
Well, I was a little kid back then, so, I mean, I'm not that much younger, So I'll be 38 in September, so.
No. I got one there for you. But, my favorite is Jerry Blavitt. That tells you how old I am. The beater with the heater.
Well, Jerry Blavitt was RJ's competition.
Wow.
Yeah, Jerry's like 70-some years old. Still looks pretty good for a 70-some-year-old guy.
He's still doing live appearances.
You get him over one night. He could tell a lot of stories.
Well, you know what? He actually did a call-in show on 106.9 when they were still around on the talk show there, and I actually called into him with the story about the Dick Clark thing with Jenny McCarthy.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That guy is a memory machine. He used to have a restaurant on Chestnut Street back in the 70s that I went to. He remembers the whole thing. I asked him about Passion Avenue, that's coming back in Philly. All the new restaurants, and it's revived. And he said, yeah, Passion Avenue is coming back strong, He still knows a lot about Philly. I think he does the casinos, the dance parties.
Yeah, he does the party at the Parks Casino still, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's in Valley Forge, too.
He used to own his own club, didn't he? Own his own club?
Remember, he's in Margate.
Memory
Oh, yeah,
Sports.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
He still owns that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. He's made a lot of money at that place. We used to see a lot of guys there. Vince Freeman, always there.
So the other caller on the line. So how did you find out about our show? Was it through Facebook or?
Which me? I found out through Facebook. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to
And
make
I've
sure
been
you know.
I'm going to tell friends and work tomorrow. I'm going to try to get them to call in next week. We're going to build this thing bigger and bigger each week, I hope. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I'll remember you guys the most when we decide to have the big party down in Florida.
Because this is the historic broadcast. This is the beginning of everything. This is like the first night that Johnny Carson hosted the Tonight Show. This is like history in the making, in my eyes.
And I feel the same way.
Yeah, stick with it. Don't, be discouraged. Just one day at a time, keep plugging along. You'll get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta stick with it. Stick it out.
Now, Beerman, as a broadcaster, primarily focused on sports, but a little pop culture on the side, what broadcaster do you think you pattern yourself after?
You know, that's a good question. But you know, it's a tough one because I had a couple role models growing up. One was actually Evil Irv Homer.
I remember him, sure.
He was one of them. The other one, you know, that's a tough one. You know, I would say my resume is the same as Howard Eskin's, and the reason why is because Howard didn't go a day of college, and I didn't go to a day of college either. I stopped at high school, and that was it. I graduated high school in '94, and I was done with education. I became what I call myself is the street smart talk show host.
Right.
And that's what I am.
You don't wear a fur coat like Eskin, do you?
Never, never, never. But I respect Eskin. I respect Eskin, and I tell you why. The reason why I respect Eskin is because what I've previously mentioned. Just about every single big name talk show host or anchor person has a college degree. Howard does not have one.
Yeah, I agree with that, but he seems pompous anyway to me. I don't know if anybody would agree with me, but I think he's kind of you don't have that attitude that he has.
Now, I'm a people person.
I can talk to you and express to you. You can't talk to Howard and express without having him come back at you, dominating conversation. I don't find him open-minded.
Let me tell you something. When I was on the radio, though, I was a dominator. I mean, I've learned over the years that when you do a talk show, you have to kind of lay back. I used to be that type of guy, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but he's still that type of guy. Look how,
He's making millions of dollars doing it, though.
Yeah, but he's been kicked around a couple times, too, right?
Oh, yeah. He's definitely had some rough days in his life.
Yeah. I think he could have made it smoother on himself. And I don't, when I hear him, I shut it off. I don't want to hear him. I just think he's not open-minded. When you're open-minded and you're loose, I consider him like kind of a tight guy, if you don't like your opinion, he's not going to listen to it. And I don't think in the media you can be that way and be successful.
Well,
like Angelo, you can talk to Angelo and, he'll listen to you. He may not agree with you, but he'll listen to you.
my big thing, my big thing is, though, I'll tell you, I believe you have to have one personality and two a gimmick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And Beerman's a perfect fit for me. I mean, let's face it. 13 years of working that job has definitely made me officially the Beerman.
The Beerman, and also I've heard you referred to as the legend. Who first called you the legend?
You know what? Let me tell you an inside story about the legend, and I'll tell you why. I actually go around and tell people they're a legend. And what they done was they turned it back around on me and they said, "No, you're the legend."
All right.
So,
But, you know, that humility does help. That little bit of humility, because people really know. I learned from the grad page, you know, that I started it, and like people realize, and they come up to you and say, "You are the legend, thank you know." But you have to do it humbly, like you do it, you know.
well, you know what? Let me say this though, real quick. Let me say this, and then I'll give you guys a rebuttal. You know what my approach is? When I'm out somewhere, no matter where I am, if I'm outside of my home and I see a beautiful woman, I want to recruit her in as a talk show host, believe it or not. That's what I do because I want to put her on the camera because I know that a beautiful woman would definitely sell. For years, I've been trying to find a beautiful co host.
Well, Beerman, I suggest a road trip to Club Risque and maybe do a little recruiting down there.
They're too expensive. They're too expensive. What you need to find is you need to go out on the streets and find the right person. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Southwest New Jersey caller. I know that there's a person that both of us know that would be a perfect fit for this business.
I'm trying to guess. I don't know.
Think blondes.
Well, okay, but we can't mention that on the air, I don't think.
Well, we could just say all we could say is blondes, okay?
All right. All right. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Exactly.
And all right, I see where you're heading with that, but that's a good point. I agree 100%.
Well, let me add this though. There's actually multiple females in that circle that could definitely come on the air and host a show and have the party rocking.
That is a good circle to be in. I
Yes.
agree with you. You are right on point tonight, Beerman.
Believe me, there's a reason why I wear a uniform outside of this business.
You just gotta stick it out, stick with it. And as I said, do a survey on when most people have the time to call in. You know, because some of the guys are like police and firemen, and they work different shifts. So, we had a good time. Like for me, in the evening, I had free every evening, so I could call in and talk. But some people may be restricted.
Well, let me tell you this, Anthony. The one thing is, over the years, I've taken on some positions where I just did it because it was financially right. But in reality, my calling in life is to be in front of this camera and hosting talk shows on a regular basis.
Right.
I believe we have another caller on the line. The Matrix Society is here.
Matrix.
I don't know if they're just a chatter or if they're a caller. That's what I'm trying to figure out. They might just be a chatter.
You know, when it comes on, it says enter your PIN. And some people may be afraid, may think that there's something on. So let me try and do something about that.
What's happening, Matrix Society? You going to call in tonight, buddy? All right, well, he's just going to hang out in the chat room, it looks like. See, we have chat rooms, we have phone lines, we have everything here pretty much, except for, of course, those gorgeous blondes. We need to work on that.
This is a multimedia experience here tonight.
Well, you know, as I said, when you call in, it says enter your PIN. And maybe some people, I stuck with it, and then it says you don't have the PIN, press 1.
Press
So
1.
maybe some people are calling in and figuring they don't have a PIN, so they can't get on.
That could be. That confused me at first too. You have to enter the five-digit ID, and then it asks you for a PIN. You have to enter 1 and hit the pound sign. Yep.
Well, see, the thing is, I guess I should have did a better job of explaining to everybody that, like, there's going to be prompts. But you know what? I haven't used this in a while, so it's like, I figure people will get the hang of it. This is all part of technology, growing things to a different level. And like I said, normally people think they're going to get a real person answering the phone. They're going to come right on the air right away. You come live on the air.
No screening. You mean you go right through? I mean, no. No 20 questions what your topic is. You just go right through to the beer man. That's the way it should be.
Now, the only time that'll be a problem is, let's say we have like 4 or 5 callers at the same time. What's going to happen is I'm going to have to basically call people out based on, whatever I see on my screen here. And then, and I do have the power here that I can mute your call. When I mute you, though, I'm not sure exactly what you're going to hear. But like I do have, I have the master control here to put you on hold kind of thing. But I don't know exactly what you're going to hear when you're on hold. If you could hear the show, then that's great. But if you can't hear it, then you're going to miss everything.
Right.
So that's why I try not to use the mute controls. I just, but I mean, if we ever get to the point, when we get to the point, let's think positive here. When we get to the point when we have 10, 20, 30 people call on at the same time, we're going to have to mute them and then bring them back on the air one by one.
I can see this thing multiplying exponentially each week. I mean, tonight we got 2 or 3 callers. Next week it's going to be 8 or 9 callers. The week after that it's going to be 30 callers. I think this is going to snowball into a big thing here, Beer Man.
Well, I look forward to it. Believe me, and I'm open to it, and I thrive on it. To be honest with you, I will tell you back many years ago. Well, not that many, but you know what I'm saying. It's now 2014. Let's say in 2008 when the Phillies were on their World Series run. Let me tell you, that year things were crazy. I was doing a show on a website called Now Live, and I had people coming from Ireland and all over the world to hang out, but we didn't have the phone lines. They would just come on, and there was like, let's say the way the screen's set up now, there would be like 6 web cameras,
Okay.
So.
That's why we talk a year from now about how there's only 2 of us always to the first. And now, a year from now, it'll be 200, and there'll be 2,000, it'll just continue to grow.
Well, I'll tell you, if we get to that point, we'll be having one hell of a bash in Florida.
When you relocate to Florida, I mean, you're leaving behind the Phillies and local sports. Are you going to be able to deal with that?
Oh no! There's services. There's services out there. We'll be able to follow the Phillies from anywhere.
Right.
So
MLB, the MLB TV.
Yes.
You'll still be able to watch them. Yeah.
Right, and there'll be ways to feed in stuff from local. Believe me, we'll find a way to get stuff from Philadelphia Sports Network and whatnot.
Yeah, listen, I got to run, so it's been nice talking to you. I'll chat with you on the North Catholic Grant page, and best of luck. And if you need me, just message me if I can help you, okay?
All right, Anthony, thank you so much. I'll be talking to you soon on the garage page.
Okay, take care.
Take it easy. Have a good night. Thanks for spending the time, too.
Sure. Bye.
All right, folks. So now we have our good friend here who we were talking earlier about. We were saying that the women. Let me tell you a good story about the women. Because when I used to do the remotes live, I only found the best. The Doublemint twin look-alike and everything.
That's from the tailgate zone?
Yes, because when we had that going full blast, I mean, that's what I was out to do, was basically interview all the beauties out there getting drunk.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing I've noticed this year, Beerman, is at least in regards to the Phillies, the parking lot doesn't seem to be as crowded as it has been in the past seasons when the team was a lot better. Do you look at that as a problem in recruiting talent?
Well, you know what? On opening day, that lot was jammed. I only go down there now maybe 5 games a year.
Okay.
So, there's no problem in recruiting talent. Trust me. At this point, I will tell you that last summer on Memorial Day weekend, it was rotten weather. It was 50 degrees and light rain down in Sea Isle City, New Jersey, and the beauties were out in numbers at that bar that day.
All right, I believe that.
Oh yeah, believe me. Because matter of fact, there is a video. I believe it's on YouTube of the dance floor that I took. Now it's not the best quality because of the fact that at the time I was using some equipment well, I would say it was outdated, I guess. So we've upgraded the equipment since then, and hopefully, we're going to be able to do something. Matter of fact, there's a beach bash in the works for this coming summer.
A beach fest?
Well, a beach bash. What that is
a beach bash. Okay.
Right.
A Beerman beach bash.
Right, meaning that we're going to have a full-on party at one of the New Jersey beaches.
Wow. Okay, that's breaking news as far as I know.
Yeah, well, it's something that I haven't spoken about it yet this summer. Last summer, I used to always speak about it, but what I wound up doing in past summers, well, let's rewind here. Last summer in July, I was in a horrific wreck on 95. So that kind of slowed down the momentum, of course, because I was sidelined the rest of the summer. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, happens. But the reality of it is this summer I feel much better heading into it. And like I said, we're going to have something late summer, which we'll announce on a future broadcast.
That sounds great. Sounds very good.
Does it sound like something you would attend?
It sounds like I would say if it's on a weekend, yeah, I think I'd probably be able to attend that. Yes, definitely.
Okay, well then that's something that, like I said, we will definitely have this summer. I mean, really, all we have to do is just set up our spot on the beach and, open up the party and send it out to the fans out here in Ustream TV world.
So that's broadcast live on the Ustream network.
Yes, on Beerman Network. Yes, in the past we've done a multiple broadcasts from. We used to use a provider that's now out of business. Unfortunately, they folded up their operations. I've been affiliated with so many websites over the last, I'd say since 2008. I've been affiliated with probably 6 or 7 websites, and 5 of them are no longer in business.
Okay. Yeah, Ustream seems pretty stable. They've been around for a few years, and quality's very good. And yeah, I think Ustream will be around for a while.
Yeah, but we're expecting to do something more significant with them down the road too. We're hoping to use them as our official service provider for the Beerman Network.
And you need some sponsorship. I would say for the Beerman Network, you need a beer company to sponsor you. Is that what you said?
At this point, we're not going to go looking for that quite yet because I'll tell you, when we were on the radio, I used to underwrite the cost myself to keep the radio show going.
Right.
So, I mean, on television, majority of the time I was actually just a volunteered employee. So meaning I wasn't paid, but I was also given freedom to broadcast what I wanted as far as, the FCC, of course, would take away a lot of that freedom, though.
Yeah, and the FCC does not control Ustream, as far as I know.
Now, their rules on Ustream are pretty laid back compared to what I dealt with on television and radio.
Okay.
So we're going to be good to go. I mean, like I said, this whole broadcast will be archived 24/7. On Ustream, it'll be there most likely for 30 days, but I think we can set it up on YouTube that it'll be there forever.
Wow. All right. And this is the initial Beerman broadcast in this new incarnation, in this new environment of 2014, and it's a historic night, I think.
Yeah, it is. And in the past, I would line up all kinds of special guests. Like I said, I just was communicating with Kim Douglas, who I'm hoping to officially bring on in the coming months.
That be, I'll tell you what, that would be a major get for the Beerman Network, Kim Douglas. I remember her from the radio. I think she was in real estate for a while. I don't know what she's doing right now, but that would be a major coup for the Beerman Network, Kim Douglas.
Well, wait till you hear the next name that I've been in conversations with, but we'll hold that name back till future shows.
All right, looking forward to it.
Trust me, the lineup that we're trying to bring on is really top notch.
All right, very good.
So that's definitely in the pipeline. Like I said, we're going to be giving away a vacation in 2015. There's all kinds of things coming up.
I'll tell you, this is very exciting to be a part of the initial broadcast and to hear all the future plans. Kim Douglas sounds very good. The vacation sounds very exciting. Sounds like things are starting to move forward for the Beerman Network.
Yes, they're going in the direction that people definitely will be talking about what we have in store for them. Like I said, there are lots and lots of plans for different live remotes and an opportunity for our viewers and people to get together and have a good time, make new friends.
That's what it's all about, Beerman.
We're definitely going to grow this. We're going to grow this all the way to the top of the ladder, and there's no stopping us now. You still with us?
Now, I wanted to ask you a question. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's go back to sports. If you were the general manager of the Phillies right now, instead of Ruben Amaro, I know the team's about 500 now, which is better than some people expected. But if you were the GM right now, how would you turn this team the right way? Because I still don't think they're in a playoff position right now, even though they're at 500. I just don't see them getting to a point where they can really challenge for a wild card. Definitely not the division. But if you were the GM, what kind of changes would you make?
Well, first move would be John Mayberry would be either traded or designated for assignment.
I agree.
The second move would be Jim Murphy would be bought up from AAA.
Jim, who was that?
Jim Murphy, he's a first baseman that bats right-handed, and he has a 7-game hitting streak.
Really? All right. I'll have to look him up. Okay.
Yeah, he's very good. He had a really good game yesterday, and I just got done watching the games from Saturday and Sunday. This morning I wrapped up with the games from that. And, yeah, I do my homework when it comes to scouting the Phillies minor league system, and I will tell you, Miguel Franco has been a huge disappointment so far.
Yeah, I know he hasn't been hitting. I mean, they still consider him one of their better prospects, but he's off to a very slow start.
Yeah, he's going to have to spend probably the whole year in AAA. Murphy seems like he's ready to be bought up, and the only problem is they're not going to be able to give him the number of at-bats that he needs.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, especially since Howard actually has gotten off to a better start than a lot of people expected. So, yeah, I mean, if he just plays first base, he's probably not going to get a lot of at-bats.
Well, I called Ruben and asked him that question about what is his dimensions, and Ruben said he's a one-dimensional player, so he can only play first or pinch hit or DH.
Right. Yeah. So he's kind of like another Darren Ruff, who is pretty bad defensively.
Yeah, Darren Ruff's a guy, honestly, when he comes back, I'd probably let him start off at AAA for a while and then eventually try to trade him.
Right. Yeah. I could see him playing in the American League maybe.
Right.
As a DH, but he's not good in the outfield. We know that. But even at first base, he was never considered a great, even an average defensive first baseman. So I think his future is probably in the American League. You're right.
Exactly. Now, the other move I would make is Freddie Galvis would be sent down to get some, hitting. Well, he needs some instruction because his offense is terrible right now.
offense is terrible. He's a great fielder, but yeah, you're right. He has no offense.
And Reed Brignac is the other bat I like down there, so Brignac would be called up in that move.
Okay. All right. So that's a couple moves right there.
Right, and then as far as the pitching goes, I would leave it as is for at least another week and see how they do.
Now, what about that kid at Double A? That what is his name? Giles, the relief pitcher.
Yes, Ken Giles.
Okay.
Ken Giles' story is that he throws one hell of a flame. He throws at almost 102 miles per hour. The thing about him is he needs time in AAA before I'd bring him up. At least a month in AAA. They are going to bring Jesse Biddle to AAA, from what I understand now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, right.
Well, the thing is, though, who do you trade? I'll tell you who I trade. I trade Kyle Kendrick.
Kendrick, you know what? Actually, he has some trade value. You're right. And I think what you see is what you get with Kendrick, so they know what they have. But I think some team with starting pitching problems, you're right. They would like to have a Kyle Kendrick. You're right.
And in that trade, what I would look for back is outfield depth and maybe a future second baseman.
Okay. Yeah, their outfield is not. You're right. They don't have a great outfield as far as depth. I mean, even the three starters. I mean, you look at Bird, who's 37 or 38, whatever he is, and he's not a great fielder, and Dominic Brown's not a great fielder. So yeah, they do need some outfielders for the future. You're right.
So we'll see what happens, but they're the moves I would make at this point. I like Hamels and Lee with Burnett. I think that's a great top three rotation pieces. I think Papelbon has really turned a corner lately. Let's see if it continues.
I agree with you. The bullpen is kind of a mess. Papelbon's been pitching good, but everyone else is kind of hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get from night to night. But the starting pitching can actually keep them afloat, especially those the top three guys, who are very good. And Burnett is pitching with an injury, with a hernia. Amazing the way he's been pitching.
He was very impressive in yesterday's start.
Yeah, definitely. It's incredible. Ever since they announced that injury, it seems like he's pitched better and better each start since they announced that hernia. So yeah, he's been pitching great.
Well, I remember the day they picked him up, how excited I was. I wanted them to get him so bad, and when they got him, I said, boom, there's 85 wins right off the bat if he stays healthy.
Let's hope so, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, he's pitched a lot better than I thought, and, with those three guys at the top of the rotation, they can stay at 500, a little bit above 500 for a while, and you never know. At the end of the season, maybe they sneak in. Who knows?
Well, see, the one thing is, as far as my baseball scouting ability is pretty strong. And like I said, I have a lot of confidence in A.J. Burnett to have a big year for the Phillies. Now, even though, like you said, he has the hernia operation, well, not the operation, but the hernia injury, it would definitely be something that would be concerning. But the way he showed us so far, now the question is, will that take a toll on him a month from now?
Well, that's true. I mean, with an injury like this, you never know what's going to happen, especially, baseball, it's a 6-month season. So, we're not even through the first month yet. So we got 5 more months to go, and, the road trips, the travel, the dog days of the summer, you don't know how an injury like this is going to respond, and you don't know what Burnett's going to be like in the future. You're right.
Exactly. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But I honestly believe the Phillies are on the right path. They played a team like Florida at home and they swept them. They seem to lose to the better teams, even though the 3 out of the 4 against the Dodgers honestly shocked me.
That shocked me too. Their record against winning teams is below 500. Their record against losing teams is well above 500, which makes sense. But you're right. The Dodger series surprised me. I didn't think they would win that series, and they did it. So on the road. So that was pretty impressive.
So I think just based on that alone right now, I think 85 or more wins is a safe bet, and that's where I'm going to go with it. That's what I say, unless major injuries or let's say Howard and Utley really digress and Ruiz goes down the hill, you know?
Right. And by the way, speaking of Ruiz, Player of the Week just announced this morning, I believe.
Perfect segue there.
There you go. I am the king of segues, dear man.
Good one.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. My dog needs to go for a walk, dear man. And it was a pleasure being part of this first broadcast. And I wish you all the luck in the world. And I'll be calling in your next broadcast. And good luck for the Beerman Network and everything coming up in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and the kind words. Have a great night.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Take it easy. There you go. So great callers tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We have Matrix Society hanging out in the chat room. I appreciate you joining us tonight. And it looks like at this point in the evening on the East Coast, we're coming up on 10 o'clock. Sounds like it's been one of those nights. So there you go. I mean, the Matrix Society, I'm reading your chat now. I apologize. I was so into the video stream we're doing over at ustream.tv. But I will answer your comments. You say, I can understand having 32 plus people. Let's see here. Just scanning your chat. Now, you know, I agree with what you're saying. You know, but the thing is, with the sponsor aspect, it helps make money. I mean, let's face it. This is something that I want to do as a full-time gig. So we'll see where it goes. I'm hoping to make this my career from starting in 2015 and on in. So hopefully, you know, it'll be a career that I will be very successful in and, you know, hopefully be able to make a living doing it. I'm not trying to become a millionaire. I just want to make a living doing it. So it's been a lot of fun. Great callers, like I said. Anthony was awesome leading us off tonight. He was a great leadoff hitter. And then we had two other gentlemen call in, and they contributed very much to the broadcast, and I appreciate that so much. Everybody spent a lot of time here tonight, and believe me, it won't be forgotten down the road when we bring it to the next level. So this has been the initial broadcast here of the Beerman Network on TalkShoe.com and Ustream.tv. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Philly Beerman. So it's at the city, Philly Beerman. And we also have Google, which you can check out. And check out that youtube.com/Beerman TV. So there you go. So that'll be it for the initial broadcast. Thank you to everybody who spent the time tonight. And we will see you back here. Like I said, we'll have it announced on Facebook, Twitter, and here on TalkShoe and Ustream.tv ahead of time when the next broadcast will be. So please check back on those social sites. And for now, I am the Beerman saying, have a great night. I'm out of here.